in factories. Bees have got it. We've got it. How come? What do we benefit?
Efficiency.
Efficiency, right. And when you think about it, think about what's going on with these bees and why it's efficient. If a forager finds a very bountiful patch of flowers, if she comes into the hive and is able to just dump the nectar by passing it off to another bee, she doesn't have to spend extra time getting rid of the nectar. She can get rid of the nectar quickly and then quickly get back to the flowers. Are rich flower patches stable or are they ephemeral?
Ephemeral.
Pretty ephemeral. Why? You can run out of daylight, rainstorm can come, another colony can discover that patch of flowers. I think this is a very important part of their organization. Foragers are able to cycle quickly over here, and it also, just because they don't have to take time out to process the material that they've collected. It's very different with pollen. They come in and they walk around and they can dump the pollen in the cell directly. But why do you think they do it that way with pollen? Wouldn't they benefit from the same benefit of efficiency? They kick off the pollen themselves in the cells. Why not pollen?
It's harder to transfer.
Harder to transfer. Yeah, what are they going to do? Pick it off and pass it to another bee? No, but with nectar, as we'll see, they just regurgitate it. Okay. So we're going to be looking at the honey factory. It's not a pollen factory per se in terms of this division of labor, but it certainly is in terms of honey. Let's look at some images that illustrate what we've just been thinking about. Here's a nice bee gathering on goldenrod. The tongue is out down in the tiny little florets there, slurping up the nectar. Here she's flying home. You can see the front of her abdomen is translucent. That means her honey crop is full. She's coming home with a big load of nectar. And this is the only photo I know of that depicts a bee in flight like this. And I love it because it shows how they tuck their legs up to get some streamline. Now if we go inside to look at the food store bees, well, first of all, we see them, well, here's a nectar forager. She's come in the hive, she's walked onto the combs, and there she's been met by two food stores. And the reason I know they're food store bees is they've got their reddish-brown tongues projecting out between the mandibles of this bee, and she's regurgitating the nectar, keeping a little droplet there that they can suck up from her. And then once they've gotten a sufficiently large load, they then walk up. They'll walk through the nest, offer samples to other bees, and often those they won't need to. Other bees will want the food from them, but when there's a lot of nectar coming in, everybody will be already well fed in the hive, and they head up to the honeycombs where they smear it on the walls of the cell so the water can be evaporated from the nectar quickly. So ripen it in honey. I mentioned that these. Look at all the bugs worked out. Just the right height.